Bro, Stop Killing Games is winning. We're winning, boys. Let's go. Everybody's happy about this. PewDiePie, Elon Musk, Jacksepticeye, Asmongold, Smash JT Live. Did I say Elon Musk? Even Elon Musk is on board, which is weird. He may have faked gameplay for Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2, but I don't care if he's on board with Stop Killing Games, because this is great. But Pirate Software was not on board, and honestly, I think him hating on it is what kicked all of this off. And you know what? Thank you, Pirate Software. Jason, whatever your last name is. Thor, you want people to call you? Because without your help, we would have never been able to get this far. Endymion, though, did a little deep dive into Pirate Software. See what this dude's all about. And what his actual agenda is and what he's doing right now. So let's get into it. I don't know what this is.
The movement to stop studios from destroying games and taking them offline has reached another fever point. And now Pirate Software is getting called out for lying yet again. And besides...
Oh, yeah, he is, bro. Oh, yeah, he is. If you look up Pirate Software, just that, on YouTube, you get nothing but videos that are like, oh, Pirate Software's wrong, Pirate Software's an idiot, Pirate Software's cooked. Absolutely ratioed.
Besides this, there's plenty more to go over. But I have to tackle some false info first before I get into the meat of this video, so please...
Ooh, I like this. I like info that is false being corrected. It's one of my favorite things.
Allow me to explain this because it is important. And then we'll get into how the truth of what Pirate Software demands needs to be called out and stopped before it's too late. Firstly, to catch you up fast, Stop Killing Games is an initiative to create a law to ensure that publishers cannot just take games offline, and essentially remove your ability to play games that you have paid for. The movement is growing. As seen here, as of this video going live, the movement has achieved 72% of its signatures, but yup, it still needs more. So if you're a European user, you can sign this. I'll leave a link in the description for you to...
Me too. I'm also going to leave a link in the description. If you're in Europe, go ahead and sign up on this.
Do so. If you're not European, I'm sorry, but you can't sign this. However, you can share this link with your European friends or mutuals if possible. So like I said, Pirate Software has been getting his reputation beaten into the pavement by pretty much everybody lately.
Dude, it's so epic. And there's a lot of people who I like who haven't really talked about Pirate Software. They just kind of threw some shade. Mudahar did like a whole thing about it. I didn't react to any of Mudahar's stuff about Stop Killing Games. Maybe I should have. His videos are probably really, really good, but they were a little bit too long. He had a 40-minute video about it. So I was like, I don't want to sit here for an hour and a half.
Mostly because the guy was single-handedly blamed for destroying Stop Killing Games as an initiative when he originally reacted to the movement almost a year ago in this video here on screen.
Yeah, I reacted to that.
And since then, the Stop Killing Games initiative has limped on until recently, where it's come back with a fiery vengeance, and that's putting it lightly. Pirate Software has attempted to claim that he's not the bad guy, but unfortunately his actions in past are coming to bite him more often than not. Then recently, a user spoke out on how they were banned from Heartbound Steam Forum, which if you don't know, Heartbound is the game that Pirate Software...
Okay, before we get into it, Pirate Software is an insane, weirdo, leftist freak. People were saying that he wasn't, that he's not political at all. He may not say things politically, but he is actively political. He is a political activist. You should see his Discord. His Discord is fucking insane. It's full of gay furries. And they're all about pride, and they hate Trump. It's insane over there. Can't talk about politics over there, but it's okay to hate Trump.
Software has been working on for years, and it's still not finished. Heartbound isn't very unique either. It's literally just an Undertale ripoff in pretty much every single way, even down to how the combat works as well. Which really doesn't surprise me that the guy who thinks he's a god among men just made a carbon copy of something else instead. Also, the game has almost been in development for something like 10 years if you can believe it, and it still isn't finished. Regardless, a user claimed that Pirate's game Heartbound uses DRM in a single-player game, and DRM, or Digital Rights Management, is a system used to control how users access copyrighted digital content. Essentially, it's anti-piracy software.
Bro likes to act like that he's the big shit game developer in the YouTube community. Like, he knows so much. And then he makes a game that looks like this, which I love games that are like this. But he's been working on this for 10 years, and it's not finished.
And like I said, Pirate Software, whose name is ironic given the circumstances, is now being accused of implementing it into his game. However, as you can see, this post from the initial user that
Yeah, it's to prevent piracy, I bet.
blew up eventually edited their Reddit post claiming that they were wrong to accuse Pirate Software of banning them because they were wrong and admitted to pushing false information as facts. So, this user clearly got too hung up on trying to attack Pirate Software that they admitted that they falsified information in order to dogpile onto him. And this is why it's important to ensure that you have something here before you say something. And unfortunately, and this is why I'm bringing this up, I have seen other content creators recently pushing this review that this user made on Hardbound as proof. But again, I have to reiterate, it's not true, and technically by saying what this user...
Okay, so he's not got single player DRM on his game. Okay. I was just now hearing about this whole thing. I didn't even know about this. So it's good to know that this, right now, right here, as I'm learning this information, it is incorrect. Alright.
claimed about Hardbound as fact is technically just defamation pretty much, so please be careful with that. Although this doesn't change the fact that Pirate Software does indeed still support the idea of you'll own nothing and be happy narrative, because that's clearly what he's pushing.
True.
Okay, let's get into the real video now, because Pirate, in case you don't know, used to work in Blizzard. What he did...
Yeah, he's kind of just like, well, developers can make whatever they want. It's art, you know? But it's not true. This isn't really art. I mean, it is art, but it's a product. It's not a product that you just go look at. It's a product that you experience, that you buy and own, and you have it. And that can't just be stripped away from you. And it shouldn't.
Did there exactly, no one really knows. But his dad was a big shot at the company, which 100% means that Pirate was probably a nepotism hire. And they probably just had him in like an office debugging nothing just to keep him busy while, you know, actual devs made video games. But Blizzard, of course, is notorious for being very anti-player and pro you will own nothing and be happy pretty much these days. So it's really no wonder why this stop killing games thing continues to gain traction as time passes on. For an example, The Crew as a franchise was a big reason why Stop Killing Games began in the first place. As seen here in an update in April 2025, Ubisoft confirms even still that buying their games does not mean that you technically own them, but that you simply bought a license.
Bro, there shouldn't be any fine print to read whenever you get a single player game. Or even an online game. There shouldn't be any fine print. Like, what are you talking about? Get that shit out of here.
To play their games that can be revoked at any given time, hence why this movement is happening. As Windows Central, which ran this article, said by reciting another website, which is Polygon by the way, which discovered this line from Ubisoft's lawsuit about digital ownership, which reads, Ubisoft allegedly misled purchasers of its video game The Crew into believing they were purchasing unfettered ownership rights in the game, rather than a limited license to access the game, but the reality is that consumers received the benefit of their bargain and were explicitly notified at the time of purchase that they were purchasing a license. So, this whole fiasco began because
I don't even give a shit. I don't give a shit if they warn us or not. I don't give a shit if they're like, hey, red flag, red flag, red flag. This game is going to be shut down on this date, and we're going to have a countdown. And it's like, say it's 5 years from now. We're going to have a countdown. This game's shutting down on this date. I don't give a shit. That shouldn't be allowed. Have a countdown, everything shut down, and then release it. Open it up to third-party servers. Just have like a server browser. That's literally all you gotta fucking do.
Players quickly realized that places like Ubisoft, as stated here in that same Windows Central article, did revoke their right to play The Crew once it was shut down in 2024 after first being released in 2014. But the extra dagger in the rib was where users discovered, again as seen here, that The Crew absolutely did 100% have code in it that would have allowed the game to be played offline in a single player mode state. The point of this video is to prove that not only are places like Ubisoft or people like Pirate Software who are being called out and rightfully so time and again, but that the reason
Yeah, like he actually knows anything about game development. Like actual real game development. He might know like 0.01% of how World of Warcraft was made and Diablo was made. And he knows how to make his own game, kinda. But he has shown me that he knows nothing about actual video games, like the popular video games that come out. He might know a little bit about how indie games are made, how to make indie games. He has no idea. No idea. Especially with these companies that are like multi-billion-dollar companies at this point.
Reason why this movement is so important is because they refuse to admit when they're wrong, and they instead want to continue pushing this false narrative only because it benefits them specifically. But as Ubisoft states here as well, even if you own a physical copy of their games, you still don't own that game regardless. All you actually own is a worthless disc that's sitting in a plastic box, and they can, will, and have already stripped the ownership of a game from players regardless if they bought it digitally or physically. It really doesn't matter. So why Pirate Software continues to defend this practice is kind of beyond me, because it is so clearly anti-consumer. But he does come from a background of privilege and nepotism, so it's not surprising why he too believes in similar concepts. Thankfully though, bigger creators are also throwing their support in as well, like Jacksepticeye is seen here has publicly advocated for his viewers as well.
Dude, Jacksepticeye is so fucking based. One of my favorite content creators of all time. I used to watch him in high school. Like, over 10 years ago, I was watching Jacksepticeye when he was doing his gaming stuff, man. The top of the morning to you, ladies! Love the dude. Love the dude so much. I wonder if Markiplier said anything about this, or Game Grumps. Those are people that I used to be into. I still watch Game Grumps every once in a while. Sometimes I see Markiplier pop up on Twitter.
To sign the petition, which is great to see. Then none other than also PewDiePie came in via his post on his...
Same, PewDiePie. I didn't watch his gaming content when he was doing gaming. I watched him after, whenever he started doing, like, meme review! And Luai and all that. That era of PewDiePie, that was the golden era, man! Before the bridge incident happened. And then I watched him even harder after that.
His YouTube channel, to also officially support Stop Killing Games as well, which reads, in the comments, I've seen some of you mention Stop Killing Games, and I want to say I 100% support this movement. It ties in perfectly with what I talked about in my video, ownership over software and the games we buy. Again, I really don't get this sentiment of why anyone would be against the preservation and accessibility of video games. As I said, the only reason that you would be against it is because you have something to gain from the current meta of how things are being done currently. However, I do hope people do their research, because again, what that one user did on Steam, here's their post by the way, was not only debunked, but because of their lack of due diligence, they have now actually harmed Stop Killing Games as a movement by pushing this disinformation. The problem there is that I hope people understand that
I think Pirate Software 100% harmed this whole thing. But Accursed, whenever he came out, Accursed, whatever you want to call him, whenever he came out just a few days ago with all this Pirate Software information, absolutely made it go astronomical. Went straight to the fucking moon. It was glorious.
You can't push false info like
True.
that, because all it'll do is strengthen your opposition and
Yeah, don't be lying about people. If you think something is a certain way, that's cool, but like don't actually come up with lies. And don't like spread lies or spread information you think may or may not be true, but you say it as if it's true. Don't do that.
really just ruin your integrity. But that being said, I also want to get into, further with the thing with Pirate Software, all the things going on there. So like I said, Pirate got called out like crazy. Things went very poorly, and now he has deleted a rant that he has caused more backlash because of it. So this happened during Pirate's big response to the backlash, which has since not helped at all and only made things far worse. Thankfully though, I have it, and this is Pirate responding to Accursed Farms, that's the content creator who started Stop Killing Games, so let's read it as it says. I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative 10 months ago and haven't talked about it since. Now your initiative has failed and you're blaming me for 33 minutes of the hour-long video covering it. Your community is out in force, crapping up our streams and socials with hate messages, threats, and snide comments. Since you're so set on cutting up my response into pieces to try to make them seem
Honestly, I don't think any of those people were a part of his community. I think those were people that saw what the community was talking about and decided that they were going to be on board. Because no real person who is part of this whole movement is actually pushing violence and harassment and hate and all of that. Because I'm not hating on Pirate Software. I don't think that he should be canceled for this or anything. I just think he's kind of garbage. And that's okay. It's okay to be kind of garbage. I don't like it. I wish you weren't. But, you know, I'm not going to hate you for it. I'd probably still have a beer with Pirate Software if we were like in a bar. Even though I think a lot of what he does and how he acts is fucking creepy and it sucks. But like, when I look at my friends, I'm like, bro, you guys are fucking idiots. You all suck. What are you doing? You have bad opinions. Like, people can have bad opinions. It's all right. Do you agree with all of what your friends say? Do your friends not say crazy, stupid shit that you don't believe? I mean, come on, get fucking real.
Unhinged, I'm going to drop my videos here to show the actual context. There was also a massive pinned FAQ on the first video you could read through to see my reasoning. To quote back to you, if you're going to hate me, at least hate me for what I'm actually saying. I'm fine talking to people that are level-headed about this and can have a conversation, but to be real, dude, every time you've been involved, your orbiters turn things toxic instantly and it sets me off. Your community is effing rabid and it's crap to deal with for anyone on the other side of the argument. Why do you think I haven't talked about this crap in 10 months? Why do you think we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat because it's been rage bait and crap flinging the entire time?
Well, you kind of caused it though. I wish he would stop doubling down and stop like attacking against it and just apologize and just shut up about it. And I wish he'd be like, well, I disagree with all of this, but you know, the community of the overwhelming gaming community wants this, is for this, so I'm just gonna not talk about it anymore. But he can't do that. Like, he shouldn't have said anything. He brought it upon himself.
Your own Reddit had people openly talking about causing drama in our community to try to stir up more support. Pirate then ends his rant with, I still disagree with your movement for all of the reasons I stated. That's unlikely to change, and at this point, I am more than fine with that. So like I said, following Backlash, Pirate went ahead and deleted this comment from his public response to Stop Killing Games, because he is now accusing people of attacking his community for his comments on the movement. And if you ask me, that's really not how this works.
Bro, I've been over there in his community. They want to argue. They like to argue with anybody who's not in the community. They like to push anybody who has differing opinions out. I've been over there. I got pushed out. I tried to be part of them. But they were all a bunch of weird gay furries. Not all of them, but there were a lot. A lot of weird leftist pronouns in the bio. They had all the flags and all that. Oversaturated profile pictures, furries profile pictures, anime profile pictures. I mean, I guess mine's kind of like that, but at least it looks just like me. I actually look like that. Except for I have a big beard now. I probably need to change it because I do have a big beard now and I'm not getting rid of it. I'm keeping this beard for fucking ever.
I think what Pirate wants more than anything else right now is for this backlash to end, because this is pretty much career-ending level backlash if I've ever seen it. It's the sort of controversy where, no, his channel won't be deleted, however, in the online space, your integrity matters. And if you're being called out like this and your response is just, actually, I'm still right, yeah, you're gonna get attacked for it. Again, I'm not making that up. He actually ended his now deleted rant by saying, I still disagree with your movement and will not change my opinion, which is honestly crazy considering how...
Okay. All right. Well, you can have that opinion, but that needs to be it. You need to just not talk about it anymore. Not talk about it anymore. Don't attack people over it. I wouldn't even ban people over it. Just like that. Let bygones be bygones. You were wrong. Just be wrong.
Everyone but him supports it because it makes sense. Pirate simply doesn't want to accept his future because he believes it goes against his tenet as a game developer when it doesn't.
Honestly, I respect it. If I think I'm right about something and everybody says I'm wrong, I don't care. I'll let everybody think I'm wrong. Like, you know, I respect it. He is wrong though. He is wrong. Don't get me wrong, he is wrong.
But this just keeps proving to me anyways that despite being shown time and again with examples that Pirate Software genuinely refuses to budge simply because to admit he's wrong is worse than death for him. Although, this is also the same guy who got involved in a viral World of Warcraft hardcore incident where he basically doomed his own teammates to fail and then tried to gaslight his viewers into believing that he was not to blame for the incident.
Yeah, I do think that this was an L situation for Pirate Software, but also, it's World of Warcraft. Who fucking cares? It just kind of showed a little bit of what his character is like, especially whenever, you know, everything's getting a little sweaty. But at the end of the day, it's all just video games. It's not that big a deal.
And then it was proven that in fact when Pirate Software claimed he would discover who pulled the enemy that killed the team.
You know what I did before this? I worked at Blizzard Entertainment.
Okay, that... well, I guess he's right then. He worked at Blizzard. He's the smartest guy on Earth when it comes to playing the Blizzard game. I don't think it works like that.
Okay, well, at one point, when he and his teammates were streaming and got themselves in a dangerous situation, most of the team tried helping each other survive, while Thor, you know, the guy constantly boasting his hitherto undreamt of skills.
Imagine getting mad at each other in a video game. Imagine that. So fucking childish, dude. So childish. Imagine just doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on being right about who fucked up in a video game. If everybody thought I fucked up, I'd be like, oh, I didn't think I did, but whoops, I guess maybe I did. Everybody's saying that I did. Like, who cares? Even if I think I'm right, if ever, like, it's a video game, it's not that big a deal. I'd just be like, oh shit, my bad. Or I'd turn it into a joke, be funny about it. Be like, no, it wasn't me, it was you. I didn't do it. It wasn't, like, you could say, it wasn't me, it was you. You know, you can be mad about it, or you can, like, be over the top and animated about it like I am. And make it funny. Or at least humorous. So people know you're not serious, like you're fucking butthurt about a video game. Alright, I'm talking too much in this video.
Ran away and said there was nothing he could do.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look at my mana.
Savage, but come on, man.
Do you see my mana?
He was caught lying about his resources, actively wasting them while running away, so he could then...
Yeah, I wouldn't play with any of these people. I wouldn't play with Pirate Software. I wouldn't play with any of the people that he just played with. Because they seem like dicks. They seem like they take video games way too seriously. Yeah, I know they do it as a job. I know they're making money off of it. But come on, man. Honestly, I think that's a little bit evil. I think there's a little bit of evil in that. Where you're just trying to have fun, and you're taking a thing that's supposed to be fun, and you're making it serious because you're making money off of it. You know? I don't like that.
Claimed that there was nothing he could do.
We have that
I think that's toxic.
kind of a mistake again. I'm disbanding the party. I'm gonna go run with other people because you guys cannot do that. God damn it, guys. So one of you pulled the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. Oh, I swear to God, I'm gonna...
Like, bro, come on. I understand frustration, but, like, be funny about it. Don't be actually mad. Because if this happened to me, I'd be like, fuck! You know? And not like, you guys fucking suck at this game. Like, come on. Grow the fuck up.
I'm gonna go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane shit.
Which ended up being none other than Pirate Software himself who made the mistake.
You have to be better than that. And we just lost all of those materials.
Yeah, how dare you attack the ocular, you stupid, dumb, moronic...
Thor pulled it in a clip? Link.
Oh wait, what's that? He was the guy who wrongly attacked the ocular? Making it his fault everyone died? Gee, I wonder how he's gonna apologize for being so toxic to his supportive viewer.
Yeah, right there, man. Right there. He was wrong. He did the wrong thing. Said he didn't, and everybody was like, yes, you did. And he was like, no, banned! That's what he's doing now with this stop killing games thing.
Base for no reason whatsoever.
I'm not at fault there. I'm correct there for doing that. 100%. That is not on me.
Suddenly now, it was magically no longer a problem because nobody else is allowed to make mistakes in his presence, and if they
I forgot this was an Endymion video. I was on that for so long.
do, I guess they should be banned for it. But if Pirate makes a mistake, oh, then it's fine. It's totally genuine and barely even an issue at all. Love the double standard there. I think what this controversy has exposed more than anything is that some people are simply just hell-bent on ensuring they are somehow the greatest, and they will really stop at nothing even if it means blocking people, lying outright, and more to make others believe them.
That is not on me.
You can't claim that the backlash towards you is unwarranted and then delete the evidence of you crying about it. And
Back in the Xbox 360, Xbox Live days of my friends, when we'd get somebody like this, where they'd actually get mad at video games, like actually mad, to the point where they're blaming us for things that we did wrong, even though we're all just having a good time, even if we suck. We're not trying to be sweaty ball sacks, you know? Trying to be the best in the world. We're just trying to have fun. It's video games, man. Somebody was actually mad, you know what we'd call him? We'd call him a pussy bitch. We'd call him a bitch or a pussy. Or the F slur for gay people. Or the N word, you know? Or the N word and the F slur. Mix them together.
not think that the internet won't find it somehow. He's just passive aggressive, and honestly, it's more pathetic than anything.
I'm gonna go back in the video and find out who pulled that damn thing, kick him out of the raid. That is insane. That is not on me.
Like following that
That is insane. He is insane.
World of Warcraft crash out where he doomed his own teammates, he released a super lengthy response as to why he was actually not at fault, despite being in fact at fault. And then, as one user said in the comments, just take the L, it's not that hard, and Pirate says, hope this was worth it for you, as if stating the obvious that Pirate was in the wrong is somehow morally bad to do so. And
Dude, he's making himself look like Randy Pitchford right now, where he just can't stop commenting on the people who are saying bad things about him. He can't stop commenting on the criticism, when he should just comment on the people that are sending love his way. Don't talk about this Stop Killing Games initiative anymore. Just don't. You're causing problems for yourself. What are you doing, bro? This is a crazy hill to die on.
And that by stating this, you have now lost the respect and support, I guess, of Pirate Software in the future. Like, this guy literally thinks he's like as smart as Reed Richards or Tony Stark or something, when he's just a nepo baby with the biggest chip on his shoulder.
So one of you pulled the ocular. Why? Now half the raid is dead. That is not on me.
Then again, this is also the same guy who said this, and this claim is ridiculous.
So with that in mind, that community brought me this. And
Yeah, if people were saying to me that something was my fault and I didn't know it, I'd be like, oh shit, was it me? Oh shit, what did I do? Oh no, man, fuck. I fucked it up. Did I really? You know, that's how a real person reacts. Not getting mad. Not being like, no, it was you. You're the one who sucks at this game, not me.
tried to get me to sign it. And I don't want to. Number one, I can't because I don't live in Europe. But number two, I wouldn't sign it even if I could. And I'm going to kind of go through this and try to explain the reason.
Like, his posture right here is just fucking, it screams, I'm better than you. You know, I am the authority on this, because he's got his arms in tight and he's got his shoulders up like he is the king explaining to his patrons why they should follow him. I don't get it. I don't get it. Weird hill to die on.
Reasoning as to why that would be the case. The reason why I have a problem with Stop Killing Games is specifically it starts the wrong conversation. If we're trying to kill off the practice of developers putting together a live service game, pitching it as a single-player experience, and then taking away support in the future, this ain't it. Under its own description, it says, this initiative calls to require publishers that sell or license video games to consumers in the European Union or related features and assets sold for video games they operate to leave said video games in a functional playable state. Specifically, the initiative seeks to prevent the remote disabling of video games by the publishers before providing reasonable means to continue.
Even, like, what he thinks this is saying, and that being why he's against it, I'm even against that. Because what he's saying is like, games like Destiny won't exist anymore. They will be like illegal. They will have to be shut down, and like they're gonna have to be reworked in order for there to be an offline single player experience. And that's fucking stupid. Destiny is fucking stupid. That should not be allowed, to where you can just slowly from day 1 to day 900 it'd be completely different, and you can't go back and play any of the content that was there before because they remove it. Which, by the way, a lot of that content, most of that content that was removed, people paid for. Like entire DLCs scrubbed.
Functioning of said video games without the involvement from the side of the publisher. This isn't always possible in all video games, and it doesn't call out the specific practice that this is supposedly trying to defeat. It is
Well, if it's a problem, they should fix it. It's not going to be that hard to fix. And going in the future, going forward, implement things in your games that allow you to unravel your... Not unravel, that's the wrong word. Allow your games to go free, you know? Where people can run their own servers. Literally the only thing you gotta do for multiplayer games, literally, only thing is put in a server browse feature. That's like the only fucking thing. It's not hard, man. It's not hard. So many games do it. Just don't make a shitty broken game.
incredibly vague and will damage all live service games.
Pirate claims this initiative.
Good. If it damages all live service games, good. Fuck them. All that shit with the fucking in-game currency, skin packs, microtransactions, battle pass. Fuck it all. Don't need it. Get it out of here. Remove all that shit.
Would harm all games, but it wouldn't. The simple truth is that Pirate Software refuses to admit when he's wrong, and doesn't want the power of games to be in the hands of the people who play and enjoy them. Instead, he wants to keep the power at the top, where he considers himself to be a part of that club, and that the rest of...
Yeah, he considers himself like the head of a video game corporation. You know? He feels like a king. He runs his own community, so he's the top dog, big shit.
Of us to be seen as peasants that exist below someone like him that we must depend on in order to thrive and enjoy games from. But not only is that wrong, it's disingenuous and frankly kind of pathetic to view games in this manner, especially when so many people have already pushed back against Pirate, telling him that these issues that he claims can't be fixed have already been fixed a long time ago. And that instead, this is a man who's unwilling to budge in his opinions and his mistakes because he values his ego and image above really anything else. And if the industry or players must suffer in order for this mirage, if you will, to stay operational, then so be it in his eyes. But then Pirate says you have to re-architect the entire game to make it single player. Listen to this.
You'd have to
You don't. You fucking don't. I've already said it. Browse feature. Browse feature.
Architect the entire game. The game is what is called client server. So in client server models, there's a server and there's a client, and all of the math, all of the game, everything happens on the server. The client...
No, not true.
Client just displays it. And the reason we want to do it that way is so that you can't teleport around and do a billion damage. You don't trust the client. You trust the server. The client just displays what it's told. Right? So if we wanted to re-architect this, we'd have to take all of that server logic, push it back out into the client, and somehow make that playable in a multiplayer-only video game. No, you're wrong. Somehow make that playable. Literally, push it out to the client. Browse feature. Browse feature, browse feature. Doesn't make sense to me.
But that's not true, and he knows it. Like I showed earlier, the crew was confirmed to be able to be a single-player game. It just wasn't, because Ubisoft simply didn't want it to be that way.
Yeah, literally what he's saying is like, we're gonna have to rework this whole thing so that it be able to play multiplayer. No, you don't. Because you still got it in your head that you're gonna have to operate the servers. And that's not true. And anyway, they have the full game, whether it's on a server or not. They have the full game. They can just release it.
And that's what it comes down ultimately, which is that Pirate knows what he claims can be fixed, but he just doesn't want it to happen. And
it'd be so much work. To do that. Too fucking bad. People not doing enough work is what got us to getting these slop AAA games in the first place. Where they do these like cut arounds. Oh, this is gonna make the worlds so much easier to build. We don't need that. We don't need it to be easier. We need it to be harder to make games. So there's more soul, more blood, sweat, and tears. Not just shitting out a product and there you go. Eat up the slop, piggies. Eat up the slop, piggies. Get out of here with that shit.
And that's kind of dangerous to me. He even talks about the crew. Listen to this.
Right. So why did this start in the first place? What is the specific cases they've called out that are egregious? And they have one. It's the crew. So action on The Crew. The video game The Crew, published by Ubisoft, was recently destroyed for all players and had a player base of at least 12 million people. Due to the game's size and France's strong consumer protection laws, this represents one of the best opportunities to hold a publisher accountable for this action. If we're successful in charges being pressed against Ubisoft, this can have a ripple effect on the video games industry to prevent publishers from destroying more games. First off, I don't like the idea in this that it has a player base of 12 million people. That is not how long-running games work. There is a large number of people that buy the game, and that player base slowly dwindles off until nobody is playing it anymore.
No, they get that player base number from purchases. That is 12 million people bought it. They bought the game. They should be able to play the game that they bought. That is 12 million players. Whether they end up playing it again or not, doesn't matter. They should have the ability to. It's such fucking bullshit. Such bullshit. Even if it has 0 players, I should be able to go back and be the one player.
More. If there's any costs associated with keeping the game online, which this was an online video game, then eventually it costs more to keep it online than it does to keep running it.
Unless they, release the browse feature for third-party servers that, like, so many games before it have done. I'm tired of saying it.
We should be calling out that specific company, not all companies.
The fact he says that we should not call out all companies, but only the few that do it is wrong too, because these days, it's not just one company that's delisting or controlling how players operate or access their games. Pirate, my dude, it's all of them. For God's sakes, go look at Nintendo right now, for example. Recently, a user on Reddit revealed, and this is from Games Radar, Switch 2 permabans are so permanent that not even Nintendo itself can overturn them, as one user named Twink Link discovered to their horror.
Dude, I had a video in my watch later talking about this, and I was gonna do a video on this. I still might. Because this is weird, man. You can't say Twink Link. You can't have your name as Twink Link, or else your entire console gets banned? Are you shitting me?
So, some context, I know, as the user themselves said via Reddit, I let everyone in my family use my Nintendo Switch 2 system, and as a result, my sister uses it. Her username was recently changed to Twink Link and console ban. I am fully prevented from accessing any Nintendo services at all on the system.
Yeah, so if your 12-year-old nephew comes over and he just decides he wants to make a new account and add an account, or he wants to be funny and change the name to Butthole Surfer or something like that, can get your whole console permabanned, and they can't even reverse it, even though it was a prank done on you that you didn't even do. Dude, that should not be able to fucking happen. And by the way, I fucking called it. I knew it was going to be happening.
I'm unable to contact support as they're too busy with complaints right now, but this has been incredible.
Nintendo's fucking retarded. Of course, you give them the ability to permaban consoles for bullshit. They're gonna permaban consoles for bullshit. Blows my mind. People are fucking retarded.
Stressful. We were all so excited to be playing Breath of the Wild again. They then state here afterwards that it wasn't their sister naming themselves Twink Link, which still sounds like a ridiculous joke, but to say out loud, but that the system itself was actually flagged by accident. And I bring this up for a really simple reason, which is why in the hell can an entire console be banned like this by accident, no less?
Wait. So it actually had nothing to do with her name being changed to Twink Link, and it was legit. That's just what they thought it was because that happened recently. No, it just straight up happened by accident. What?
less, and that's just considered normal these days. That these sorts of insane things happen because of what opinions people like Pirates and others in the industry are allowing to happen. By supporting what he believes to be true, the whole "you'll own nothing and that's fine, stop complaining" narrative, it doesn't just stop at the Crew or whatever other game. No, it keeps going. And that this stop...
You'll own nothing and there won't be anything. Instead of you'll own nothing and be happy. Because at least that implies that there will be things. You just won't own them. No. With this, you will own nothing because there will be nothing.
Killing Games initiative is not just because someone wants to play a FIFA game offline, it's because game publishers, these companies, and yes, even their yes men like Pirate, refuse to allow freedom in the future when it comes to games as a medium.
Yeah, and what are we gonna do 80 years from now when nobody really cares about these games, whenever nobody's selling these games really anymore? What are we gonna do when they're just gone? There's no way to play them at all. So many games are like that, and I think it's becoming more and more a thing, unless we do something about it.
So you're telling me that back in the day when you bought a Super Nintendo with like Super Mario World, you owned both of those. Nobody could take your ownership from that unless they, stole it obviously from you physically. But now, I don't own the games I buy, but not only that, I also don't own the console I bought either, so in a sense, I'm paying...
No, you own the console. No, you own the console. You just don't own the hardware individually inside it, and you don't own the software. That is all run by Nintendo. They have the ability to fry your system if they want, to make the parts in it completely unusable.
Paying these prices to what exactly? Rent both the system and the games on it, and people like Pirate just think this is okay, that this is now the meta? The dark truth is simple here, which is that...
Which I'd be completely fine, actually, honestly, if we just had a renting culture, we were renting everything, if the games were going to be there forever. But they're not. They're not going to be there forever. They keep shutting them down, as we have seen. So I'm out with that shit.
That Pirate is completely fine with you, the user, not owning literally anything anymore. And the fact that he's gone to such lengths to sabotage or downright ruin such a movement for simply saying...
And honestly, I just said it. If I'm maybe okay with not owning these video games if we're able to still do whatever we want with them and they're actually available. Like we're able to mod them, We pay $15 a month and we get all the video games ever made. That'd be wonderful. That'd be fucking amazing, dude. But that's just not the case. They add new ones, remove them all the time, remove old ones all the time. You just don't get access. Sometimes even games that you paid for that you're supposed to own, they're just gone. So you know for a fact, we know for a fact, they'll just be gone if we just perpetuate this renting culture.
Hey, can we own the things we buy like anything else is kind of insane to me. Pirate Software wants you to own nothing, and if you ever question him or his beliefs, his motives, or even his games, you're just a wrong thinker plebeian who needs to, I guess, sit down, shut up, and keep your mouth and wallet open so no owning nothing future can continue, I guess. While Pirate may be okay with that, I certainly am not. This is more than just one game, it's the entire medium. And I need people to understand that this initiative has to succeed, otherwise this current meta where your games can be taken from you without consent, and even your consoles or your user profiles can be terminated or turn actual physical machines that you own into literally nothing but glorified paperweights, that needs to end. That the industry has swung the pendulum so far to the other side that we're now reaching this weird
Yeah, if they don't be careful with that, with the banning user profiles and all that, games are going to start implementing direct contact with emails, and your name, you'll just change your name from your email, and they won't be able to ban you. That'll be a good way to verify you as a real user, though. If it's like directly connected with the accounts that you use on everything, which, by the way, is a bad thing. Very bad thing. Because like that would mean if you accidentally get banned on Facebook, for example, then you won't be able to play Call of Duty. You know what I mean? But I think that's where we're going. Where we're going to have to use verified accounts that are connected to everything in order to play these things. Because developers can't be trusted and bots can't be trusted. Hackers can't be trusted. That's just where we're going. That's where we're headed. You'll own nothing because there will be nothing.